So let's do another Bridgemaster hand. Hand number C-22 today. Oh, we are in a Grand Slam contract, and we have a Trump suit which I have never seen before, to be honest. I mean, this is just a bit over the top, having the 7 highest Trumps in order, but it's a good preposition to play Grand Slam, I guess. Okay, so let's see. We have one potential hard loser to the king, because after we lose the king, well, the jack or the queen will be high along with the ace. And one diamond loser. We need to get rid of 2 losers. And, yeah, there is unfortunately not much potential in the red suits in dummy, since south and north are equally long in both hearts and diamonds. So no roughing potential on either side. And there's also no possibility for an end play, of course. Since we are playing a Grand Slam, we cannot afford to lose the lead even once. So if this is going to be successful, the success pretty much has to come from some sort of squeeze, I suppose. That's recall the bidding. East opened 3 clubs. So East has a 7-card club suit. That's a preemptive bid. West prolonged it to 5 clubs, which is just competitive. Just wants to throw a cock in the machine of our slam ambitions. I'm pretty sure we have to overtake this 10 of clubs. If we play low, East will play low, and, well, the queen and jack in dummy are pretty much useless behind the ace and king. If we take the queen or the jack, yes, East will play the king or the ace, and we will have to ruff, but at least then the other one of the queen jack is a threat card. So there is only one card that guards it, and it's probably with East, since he is the one who opened clubs. I don't really know exactly how the robots handle preemptive openings. Like, some people say that you must have a 7-card suit with 2 of the 3 highest cards in it, which is actually very strict. I handled that much looser, to be honest. I just require 3 high card points or more in the suit, however they may fall. So I'm okay with preempting a suit headed by Queen Jack, for example, or also a suit headed by the ace alone. The king alone is sort of a border case. I sometimes do it, but most often I don't. But if you have the ace and no other high cards, I'm still going to preempt. So I'm not really sure if this automatically implies that East has both the ace and king, or is just the ace a possibility. I don't think the robot will preempt with just the king. That's a bit weak. Okay, but I've rambled on for too long now. I should really focus on concrete possibilities. It needs to be some sort of squeeze. Now we need to look for threats. In which suits are there going to be threats? The heart finesse might very well work, since if I assume that East has the ace king of clubs, I don't think he can have any other value. He would be too strong otherwise, and he would have just bid his club suit normally. So opened one club, presumably, but not three clubs. So if East has the ace king of clubs, I don't think he has the king of hearts. So I'm pretty optimistic about the heart finesse. But the heart finesse in and of itself doesn't bring us anything. I mean, because if West has the king, he will cover the queen, and yes, we can win the ace, and we have the jack high after that, but the third heart remains a loser, so the heart suit will always have one loser, whether the finesse is successful or not. And we can't afford that one loser, obviously. Now, in terms of squeezes, I'm pretty sure dummy has a club threat. Most likely against East. Not really sure if that means we should keep both clubs in dummy, or maybe rough the 8 of clubs. At some point, I don't see much purpose in that, to be honest. We need to look a suit which can be threaded by south. Also, since in order for a squeeze to work, you have to have a thread in both hands. North's thread is obviously clubs. South's thread should come in one of the red suits. It's either hearts or diamonds, and importantly, the red suit in which we choose that South threatens, the high cards for dummy must be played first, since we don't want to block the suit, and we want to pitch the low cards from dummy. We need to find. If we play the long trump suit in south, we need to find pitches in north. And that has to come from the red suit which south threatens. Whichever one it may be, I'm not yet quite sure. I think I will go ahead and take this. I see absolutely no point in keeping both the queen and jack and dummy before the ace king. Don't think that does us any good, actually. So East plays the king. Now I'm pretty sure he also has the ace, to be honest. I don't think he would preempt a lone king. Obviously we have to rush. I also really don't think that drawing trumps hurts anything in this hand. And then we need to think if we want to maybe ruff a club first. Oh, East turns up with the 2 spades, which is sort of interesting. Because we know East has 7 clubs. So I think I will just draw that remaining spade, no problem. But East returning up with 2 spades means that East maybe doesn't guard the red suits. At least one of the red suits he probably doesn't guard at all. I'm just thinking about East probably being 2-2 in hearts and diamonds, and if he doesn't have the king of hearts, which I pretty much assume he doesn't have, since if he had it, he would have opened 1 club, I think. But if East has two low hearts and two diamonds, two medium diamonds, he doesn't got either suit. His diamonds will fall on the dummy's ace king, and if we finesse the heart suit, yes, West can cover our queen with the king, and we win the ace, and then our check is high, and then at least East will be out of hearts. So it's possible that East got neither black suit. If we assume that for a moment, what does that imply? Does that imply a successful squeeze against West? It depends. In that case, we would need to establish actually the diamond threat in dummy, because again, in order for a squeeze to work, we need to have threats in either hand. And in this case, South will be the one threatening hearts, I imagine. So North will have to threaten diamonds. Because if we just want to squeeze against West, clubs are irrelevant. Does that actually work? Can we, now finesse the heart successfully? Play another heart back, play the two high, or we don't even need to play the high diamonds in case the diamond threat remains in North. We can just, in that case, play the final trumps. So play 2 tricks of hearts and then play 4 tricks of trumps. Then West must come down to only 4 cards in his hand. We could even rough the clubs in between, but I'm not really sure what that accomplishes, since we force West to discard clubs, but he will probably discard his clubs anyway. Don't yet see the point in that. But if you now play 2 rounds of hearts and then followed by 4 rounds of trumps, West can easily keep 3 diamonds and a heart. Since we actually aren't shorter than dummy in any suit. Sort of a problem for a squeeze. There is no natural place for the heart or the diamond threat to live. South will never be shorter than North. That's another way to put it. Since South has the long trumps, South cannot discard any of his red cards easily. So there will be no red suit threat in North which South doesn't already threaten. The only suit that North threatens longer than South is actually the club suit, which is covered by East. And which at the moment seems a bit useless, but I think we need to start thinking about some exotic cases. Maybe I should just play the ace king of diamonds and see if East has 2 diamonds at all, and if so, which ones. West discarded some hearts already, so I'm pretty sure that West is quite long in the heart suit, meaning that East most likely is a bit shorter in hearts than in diamonds. if we play the ace king of diamonds and like the queen shows up from east, although it doesn't matter for the diamond suit, it would be a very interesting piece of information because I think that would imply that east does not have the ace of clubs, which would be probably the better scenario for us since we can squeeze west easier in the red suits. But the question is, should I cash the two diamonds or should I go for the heart finesse? I'm pretty inclined to test the diamonds since they also provide some entries. Now, if we do assume for a moment that West has the ace of clubs, that's sort of interesting for us, since one of our threats will now just be to isolate West's ace of clubs, so force him to pitch one of his clubs, then cross to dummy, ruff the eight of clubs. He has to throw his ace and the queen becomes a winner. So in order for... If West wants to avoid that, he needs to keep both his clubs, which puts him under some pressure in the red suits, I suppose. So I'm actually now just inclined to play 3 more rounds of trumps, discarding probably a low heart from dummy. Don't really think that the 3 and 4 of hearts are necessary. The diamond threat could be useful in dummy, I don't know how, but it could materialize in some fashion. Should we cash 2 diamond tricks first? Or do the heart finesse first? Don't think that it matters all that much. I don't want to ruff a club just yet. But I will need 2 entries to dummy, so maybe not cash anything first. But just play 3 rounds of trumps right now and see where the chips may fall, especially with West's discards. If West discards even 1 club, I will definitely cross to dummy and ruff the 8 of clubs. And hope that West must drop the ace after that, because remember, he only has 2 clubs left. East started with 7. It is only the first try, of course, but I will play 3 more rounds of trumps and see what happens. So East discards clubs, that's totally irrelevant, but West... This is already his 3rd heart discard from West, so West most likely started with a 6-card heart suit, I think. Yeah, now he switches to diamonds. I think West just wanted to keep the same number of hearts as dummy to cover dummy. So I think West still has 3 hearts, which means he started with a singleton heart. There goes the first diamond from West. I think I can safely discard 1 heart from dummy. So there goes another heart. So it might... West has discarded 4 hearts already. So it might be the case that the finesse picks up the suit. Maybe Easter chicane and hearts, in which case West started with 7 and we need to rethink this entirely. But for now I think the heart finesse is the way to go. If even one round of hearts holds, I think the suit, we can just pick up the entire heart suit. So what was West's distribution to begin with? 0634, I very much imagine. The 0643, I'm sorry. Switch up the order of diamonds and clubs every time. And he discarded the diamond already, so West now has, I think, 2 hearts, 2 clubs, and 3 diamonds remaining, just like dummy. I could play one more round of trumps for myself, actually, but... Well, maybe that puts West under some pressure. But I will first test if I can pick up the heart suit, I think. Yeah, I want to keep my trump as an entry back, because I do have some issues with establishing a hand threat. Because, remember, for any squeeze to work, I need a threat in dummy and a threat in hand. And if I pick up the hard suit, that's no longer a threat, that's just a suit that I win. And then I must threaten the diamonds in south. So, I need to discard dummy's 5 of diamonds at some point. And cash the ace king in order to threaten the diamonds in the first place. Yeah, I will try the hard suit. I don't see anything else for now. And it doesn't hold. Alright, so there was something wrong, and he started with the singleton king after all. And with the ace king of clubs, but the singleton king doesn't really count. But how could I have known this? Wasn't it just way more likely that East Singleton was anything other than the king? I know East. I was pretty confident East started with a singleton heart. But I found it very unlikely that it was the king, actually. Because some people, even with the singleton king, maybe would have opened one club with this one club suit. I mean, you'd usually have to deduct at least 1 high card point for having a singleton king, so his 3 clubs opening is completely fine, and I probably would have done the same, but... Yeah, I mean, it's possible, I'm pretty sure it is, but is it actually more likely? That seems very far-fetched. Because if I just cash the ace of hearts, that's not enough, actually. If West has the king doubleton, he will make the king. And I can't threaten to rough a heart in dummy either, since dummy has 3 hearts to begin with. He was only short in hearts because I continued the trump suit for so long. Should I just play 2 rounds of diamonds first? Or 1 round? 1 round probably is the better approach. I'm also a bit curious actually where the 9 of clubs is. The 10 is already gone, where's that it? It was just the highest card he had in partner suit, I suppose. Another reason why we should strongly suspect East to have the ace king. If West had the ace or king, he probably would have led it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure about East having the ace king of clubs. The 9 though, that could be anywhere. And interesting for some reasons, if the 9 is gone, I can play a successful ruffing finesse from north, so play a club. And if East plays the king, I mean, I rough that one and the other one in dummy is high. Still don't know what to do with the second loser though. Even if establishing a club turns out to be successful. But East having the singleton king as a possibility really messes up this whole hand. I was sort of accepting that risk, to be honest. Because I didn't see any way to avoid that risk. But apparently there is one. What do we know about West distribution? It has to be well, we don't know it yet, but now we know that. Let's say after 3 rounds and West discards 3 hearts. I think now we can be pretty certain that West started 0-6-4-3, meaning East started 2-1-3-7. So East also stops the diamonds, which is a bit annoying. So the only thing that we could imagine is a double squeeze. Like, both defenders guarding diamonds, West guarding hearts, East guarding clubs. And when we lead it from West needs to let go of his diamond stopper out of necessity. And then we let go of hearts, presumably. And East then is squeezed in diamonds and clubs. That all seems pretty nebulous, to be honest. I really want West to show the 9 of clubs, but I'm not sure he will. Or show any club for that matter, even if he shows a low club. I will probably just hope his last remaining club is the 9. And play the ruffing finesse with the jack anyway. East will cover it, I will ruff it, and I just have to hope that West has to follow the 9 so the 8 becomes high. It has to be something like that, right? I'm inclined to cross once in diamonds. I think I can afford to waste 1 entry. Why not? Can I afford to waste 2? I would like to. But if I want the ruffing finesse and clubs to work at any point, I need 2 entries to dummy, which would be the 2 aces. Should I have known East has the singleton king of hearts in any way? I'm very curious right now. So, Let's play one round of diamonds this time. I can't think that hurts. And we can still cross back in the trump suit, actually. There goes the fourth heart from West, so West is down to a doubleton heart now. And 3 diamonds and 2 clubs. There goes the 5th heart from West. Interesting. Maybe I should have discarded the diamond instead. Don't really know. So I think I will now just play to the ace of hearts. Yeah. The singleton king just drops with east. And I'm not sure how I should have known that. Or if this is any peculiarity about the bidding. Now at least I am rid of my heart loser right now. And West is out of hearts, so West needs to find some discards. Is roughing a club appropriate right now? Since I am in dummy, so I should at least consider that. Or should I just cash all my major suit winners in South? I have some communication problems, unfortunately, since if I play the ace of diamonds, maybe playing the ace of hearts was very premature actually. Let me take that one back. Even though it was successful, it probably wasn't correct, since I need that ace of hearts as a variable entry. I think the correct strategy might actually be to cross to the ace of diamonds in order to be able to ruff a club. And still have the ace of hearts. Says an entry while having threats in both diamond in diamonds, but particularly in clubs. I can now ruff a club back to hand, I suppose. There haven't been many club discards, particularly not from West. So, do the clubs actually still matter? The question of the hour. I think I might have done this wrong already, but let's ruff a club while we're in dummy, why not? Yeah, that didn't accomplish very much. He's still happily holding on to the ace. And yes, now East will drop his singleton king, which is nice, but there's no way to get rid of the diamond loser whatsoever, and the queen of clubs also is very far from becoming a threat. Crossing in hearts probably wasn't correct after all. I will win this, East will win it, and I will ruff it. I think drawing trumps, that cannot be wrong. Especially since singletons and voids aren't completely out of the picture. West enthusiastically discards his heart suit. So maybe from that we should have deduced that East has the king? I don't know. It seems so unlikely compared to East having any other singleton. Maybe we need East to have the singleton king in order to have any chance of making the contract in the first place, since we have two losers we need to get rid of. And by means of a squeeze we get only rid of one, I imagine. Do I want to cross in diamonds yet? I really don't. I do want to still threaten the roughing finessing clubs. So I will keep dummies clubs. But if East has the singleton king, the heart suit no longer is a threat. It is just, we can pick it up, there's no threat there. So we need to have a threat for a squeeze in diamonds and clubs. And the diamond threat needs to be in south. So however we do it, we need to be able to ruff a club. I can play 2 rounds of trumps now. Probably followed by 3 rounds of hearts. I want to keep 1 trump in hand, because if somebody comes down to a singleton ace or something in clubs, well, I think East has just discarded one of his clubs here. We have 9 cards remaining, so East only played 2 spades and 2 clubs. I will play 2 more rounds of spades right now. And I will discard a heart. Or the 5 of diamonds. I don't really think that matters. Because the diamond threat again needs to be in south, not north. But I will keep shop of everything now. So there goes another diamond from west. There goes the 4th heart. Now I will just have to hope that East drops the singleton king of hearts, I imagine. And I want to keep 2 entries in diamonds in dummy, so if the clubs materialize, I want to be able to switch to dummy, rough a club back, and then switch to dummy again in case his second club becomes a winner. But I need West to discard a club first, I suppose. There goes the singleton king from East, right? There goes a 4th club from East, so East has 3 clubs remaining. Now, I'm actually curious. I will discard the 5 of diamonds. Obviously, the diamond threats will be in south, not in north. But I'm actually curious now what they discard on this. There goes a club from west. So, and a diamond from east. And East started with only 3 diamonds, meaning that I strongly suspect East to not guard the diamond suit any longer. I think East has 2 clubs and 2 diamonds remaining. Just like dummy. And West has 1 club and 3 diamonds remaining. But I think we might have a chance in clubs now. I might cross to dummy, use the diamonds only as entries now. Cross the diamonds and then play the jack of clubs and hope. And just hope that West's last remaining club is the 9. Because I'm pretty sure it's not the ace. If West had the ace of clubs, he would have led it for sure against the Grand Slam. That's not even a question. So we can only hope it for it to be the nine of clubs. So if we play the jack from dummy, East will cover it with the ace, we will ruff it. And if West now has to drop the 9, the 8 of clubs in dummy becomes good, and we can still reach it because we have a second diamond entry in dummy, yes. So I will now lead the jack and hope for West's 9 to drop. And it drops, alright, that was it. So that end was actually fairly logical. I'm still a bit curious how we should have deduced that East has the singleton king of hearts. That was such an unlikely event, but perhaps it was our only chance of success anyway. In which case, of course, we must assume it. Yeah, West surely doesn't have the ace of clubs, and when East plays the king, we know for certain that West's highest club was the 10, so we can only hope for him to have the 9 at most. The East has both spades, so the only defensive card in hearts and diamonds. Wow, his opening lead strongly suggests the 9, yes. But in this particular layout, they still give East a double to the heart, not the singleton king. This is the layout I initially sort of played for. Yeah, this is just a simple squeeze against West, basically. And we can squeeze West in the clubs, because if he dumps the 2 of clubs, then we can switch to dummy, play the queen from dummy. And West will have to drop the 9, and our 8 will be good. But even on this layout, there's actually no success. If we lay the queen on the jack, West will refuse, okay? Yeah, now if West abandons the clubs, I wanted to do the ruffling finesse in clubs, but why doesn't that work now? We cross in diamonds. Lead dummy's remaining club order through East to pin the 9, yes? Yeah, but we are on the wrong side to squeeze against West again. Okay. If we now we can cross to dummy and cash the 8, but what does that even matter, since we are completely in the wrong position to do a squeeze? Impossible. It's even impossible against the best distribution. So we must hope for East to have the singleton king. A squeeze will still be required for a 30th trick. Yeah, hoping that East drops the king. And run all of his major suit winners except for 1 spade, yeah. We need that 1 spade for a ruffing finessing clubs. A double trump squeeze, yeah, I'm not really sure why it's called that. I'm very bad when it comes to terms. West discards a club. Yeah, now West's line is isolated, which is this was the whole squeeze aspect of the thing. Since now we can play the queen of clubs from dummy and pin West's line of clubs. I just wonder actually if we could have done that earlier. I mean, it's very stylish to do it this way, but could we have done this whole thing with the queen of clubs earlier? Yes, West would have played the deuce and not the 9 in that case, but his 9 was still the only card guarding dummy's 8, and West still would be squeezed, right? Yeah, there's maybe no entry back to hand. No, that's not good. We need the 8 to be high right now and not potentially. So we need West to drop one of his clubs first. If instead Wedge pits a diamond on the second to last. Trump East is squeezed, yeah. I mean, East does still got the diamonds, but if he now discards a club, we actually rough the 8. We don't rough the queen, we rough the 8. And the queen is good after that. And if East now discards a diamond, well, that's good news for us, since now no opponent guards diamonds anymore. So we can just play the ace king of diamonds, rough a club back, and the last diamond is good. Yeah. This is the only scenario in which we can be successful. I mean, this is very useful thing to notice if there is actually only one scenario, however unlikely it may be, that can be successful. Yeah, now we cross in diamonds and rough the 8 of clubs. The difficult part of this hand wasn't the whole squeeze thing, I guess. I mean, roughing finesses are not that unusual. This the difficult thing about this hand was to realize that a simple squeeze against West actually cannot work. Ever, because of entry problems very late in the hand. Because that would be the default play that most of us, at least me, would divert to when we see this hand. I'm actually not very inclined to go to hope for the singleton king basically ever. Alright then, yeah. It's late here, so have a good night.